you can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality. At Set to Love, we offer strategies and ideas on how you can stay out of crazy town. See, your human experience is meant to be lived with meaning, purpose, and creativity. You are here to contribute through your essence. We are best friends, moms, entrepreneurs, and above all, find our flow in assisting you to find yours. We come together weekday mornings to bring you ideas to fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on. Take what works and ditch the rest, and always stay set to love. Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go. What if your entire life was planned? You knew exactly where you were going. You were a go-getter, and all of a sudden you got some news that was unexpected and pushed pause on your life for a moment. Today we are talking with Kamelia.britton. She is a top 10 social media coach by 2020 Yahoo Finance. She's an amazing human being and a cancer thriver. And we want to welcome her to Set to Love today and everyone else out there. And I also want to welcome my best friend, Shelly. Good morning, lady.
Good morning. Oh my gosh. I've already, just to let everybody know, I've already been in a tearful. Camila, you are just too, did I say your name right?
Camelia.
Camelia. I didn't mean to make that, but we've already been chatting just before, and you are precious. I just love your heart, and I'm so excited for everybody to hear the things you have to say, because you're so inspirational and loving, and this is going to be a great morning.
Thank you. Yay! Well, welcome. Why don't we start by just having you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I want to dive into really what's kind of transpired over the last year and a half for you, and just your perspective on dealing with something unexpected. So why don't you just dive right in for us, and we'll kind of throw some questions out at you as we're moving right along. And thank you so much for being here today.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited. So hello, everybody. I'm Kamelia.britton, and you can find me on Instagram right there. And so basically, gosh, I was a burnout nurse who turned myself into a travel blogger back in 2016. And then I was a travel and lifestyle influencer, and I worked super hard to be able to make it in that industry. And then I basically was able to quit my nursing job, and I was traveling around the world, and I was pinching myself, floating around in infinity pools. And I was like, oh my God, I made it. I literally worked my butt off to make my dream come true. Right. And then, and then lo and behold, when I'm at the peak of my life, I'm engaged to the love of my life, I'm living my dream, I got a crazy cancer diagnosis in July 2019. And everything shifted just a bit. And obviously that wasn't part of the 5-year plan. So I had to take a little bit of a detour to go get a year of aggressive treatment. I got 16 rounds of chemo. I got several 3 or 4 different surgeries. I had 20 rounds of radiation. And then, I just finished treatment in July 2019. Through that time, I couldn't travel. So I leaned into my coaching business that had already kind of been born at that time. And it was at the right place at the right time. And I leaned into it. And then I've been doing Instagram coaching, mindset and success coaching, and business coaching, because I've started online business successfully. So that's me in a nutshell.
So I want to ask you, as you were going through all of this chemo and all the stuff, you were still focused on your business, and you weren't having your own little pity party? Because I kind of think I'd be there for a minute. It sounds like you just went, okay, cancer, well, how do I just shift my business? And then you just did that too.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, it was a shock, right? So when I first got diagnosed, I just didn't think, I literally went to an appointment, I found a lump, and I was like, okay, let me just go get this checked out. It's probably nothing. I'd had something before, 10 years before, and it ended up being a cyst. So I think I was more worried about that one than this one, because, you'd already been through that. And so I went, and 3 days later, it's cancer. And I'm like, what? What? This is not happening. I'm the girl who goes to meditation retreats and drinks green smoothies. This is not part of the deal.
And
right?
You were 38 when this happened.
I was 38 years old.
So young.
So And so once I I took 6 weeks to just think about it. I had, a large following on Instagram, and I didn't really I didn't know how to even navigate like my very public life at that time. And so I took about 6 weeks to myself to just see how I felt about it. Did I want to hide it? Was I going to wear a wig and just pretend it wasn't happening? Did I tell the world? Like it was just like all these decisions to be made with my work. And it wasn't kind of an option to just lay down and just hide and run away. Like my job is very public. And so, yeah. And then I basically then said, okay, I've got to buckle down. I've got to do this. I've got to work on my mindset. I've got to nurture my body. I've got to wake up every day and ask myself what they need to be happy and feel good and to heal. I've got to go into meditation, right? I was meditating for like up to 45 minutes every day, seeing myself healed and whole. And so, and through that, I basically, in that time, in those 6 weeks of dark time, of course, they diagnosed me with triple negative breast cancer. And I went and Googled that. And I think it was like the 5-year survival rate was like, I think 60% or something. And those aren't the best numbers in the world. So my brain automatically went to, you have 5 years to live. Like, what are you going to do with it? And so, again, like we all kind of go through life and like, we know everyone's going to die, but like, it's never going to happen to me kind of thing. Right. And so in this weird way. And so basically I was just like, oh my God, like everyone's going to die. Okay. Reality check. And maybe this is the thing that I'm going to die from. And like, nobody really knows. And maybe it's not. So maybe I do have 5 years to live, and maybe I actually have 50 years to live, and no one really knows. So more importantly, how am I living? Like, what am I doing with the time that I'm living? Like, I'm still here, like a very powerful thing, in my mind was like, when someone writes your obituary, what's in it? Well, you know what? I'm still alive and I have a chance to change that. Like, how did I change lives? You don't care how much money you made. You don't care like whatever, like how did you change lives and who did you touch? Because that's the actual energy that ripples out into the world. And so I decided to actually create like a movement called the Love Ripple. And I started an Instagram account and all of this. And I started really focusing on giving, because that is really the only way we can receive. If you want to receive healing, if you want to receive love, if you want to receive really anything, right? It's the law of the universe. And so you really have to give, and you can't give from a place of asking to receive. You have to really give from a place of love, because the universe, you're not going to fool it. It knows what's up. So basically, I was like, okay, how can I give? How can I love? How can I, love myself more? How can I connect? And that's what's really important in this life, right? And so I would go to my chemo sessions and I would bring little cards and little bath and body things and lotions and blankets and little things. And I would just put them in the chairs of the other people at the infusion center. And, some would be empty. And I'd be like, what a cool thing to be surprised, by the time someone comes for their treatment, they're going to be like, oh, and so that's what I would do. And I would say in there, hey, I'm Camila. I'm a 38-year-old cancer thriver. I'm here today getting my infusion, and I just wanted to send love to the person who comes after me. Basically, I know how hard this is, and you've got this, right? Because that's all I needed to hear that day, because that's all I needed to hear. I know. And so, and I would leave my Instagram name and stuff like that. And some would find me, some wouldn't, some would message me, and some would physically find me in the unit and come and say thank you, and with tears. And I just knew like I was putting out love, that love ripple, right? And that person then had a good day, and then they rippled out. And that to me was like all I needed. It made me so happy to do it. And it made those people happy. And then just some people that were literally on their last hope. And then that thing just lit their heart, And so I don't know, it just felt really good. It was like one of the most beautiful silver linings, right? Like I wouldn't have done all that. Like I wouldn't have been prompted to, do all that. So yeah, that's
wow. That's so beautiful. Now, did you ever get to see how your ripple of love, did someone pay it forward? I love those stories too, where, you go to give and you never really do expect to receive. And then something happens that's really good. Do you have a story maybe that something happened good from what you started?
Yes, it was so great, because I was posting it on Instagram, and I, had the account and the hashtag and everything. And so people were definitely, inspired. And so other cancer patients were kind of paying it forward, and I would say even like pay it forward, or something like that, and like, and tag me so I can see or whatever. And some would, and they would tag me and message me. And then some people who were just watching on Instagram, they were doing it with their coffees because they're like, well, I'm not in treatment, So how can we do it? So they were doing it at Starbucks, and it was like nice. And then it was funny because one of my followers actually love rippled me, right? He was like, he sent me some like of those blue blocker glasses, it was like really funny. I'm like, oh my God, I got love rippled. It was like full circle. It was really cute, and so yeah, it was fun.
That's so awesome. So my question for you is, what would you say to someone if they were to find out today, tomorrow, in the next month, or they just found out that they have cancer or some other illness that has a 60% chance of not making it or making it? What would you say to that person in that moment, having gone through it?
Yeah, I would say, gosh, have so much love and grace for yourself right now. Just really dive into self-love, because that's the biggest thing you can do for yourself no matter what. Take your time on telling people. See how you feel first. You know what I mean? Because it's re-traumatizing to tell the next person, and then you have to tell the next person, and you're retelling it over and over. So for me, I sort of decided to rip the Band-Aid off, and I decided to because I was going through this every time. And then when I felt ready, I just told the world. I put it out on Instagram, and I told it to the world. And then I got bombarded with messages, and I just sat in bed one day, and I was like, I'm going to sit in bed and just, today's the day I'm doing this, and then I'm not doing it anymore. Do you know what I mean? And so that was it. And that was easier than telling each person, because then they're having their own triggers, and it just, it's like double trauma. You know what I mean? You're re-traumatizing yourself. So that's a big thing. Dive into self-love, dive into meditation, ask your body, how can I make you happy today? Right. And like we talk about today, the theme, follow the fun. Like, again, when you are having fun, you're putting light in the world, and you're naturally going to give when you're happy and you're filled, right? So fill yourself up, go find the fun in your life, and then, inspire others to, because we all just want to shine our light, but we feel suppressed because of society and this and that. Go shine your light, love yourself, love each other, connect. Like, that's what matters, right? So find the fun, follow it. 2020 was cray. Go follow the fun in 2021, because we all desperately need it. And this is, 2020 opened our vision, and 2021 is leading us down a new path.
Well, and now you've done really well because you beat this cancer, which is fantastic. I'm so happy for you. Now that you've beat this cancer, what are you doing with your life?
I'm back to living. I'm focused on living. And, I was the seize the day kind of girl before. I was a travel blogger. And so, yeah, now that, I'm out living, and I'm out also inspiring and helping and empowering. And I'm a business coach, but more importantly, it's just like helping people step into their own shiny greatness, right? And it's like, we all have something in our heart that's calling us to do, and it may not be for a job. Sometimes it is. But honestly, following your purpose is just following every day what lights you up and makes you excited and happy, because that's when you're living in your truth, and that's when you're going to shine, and that's when you're just going to be happy, and it's all going to flow anyway, right? And so for some people, that is a business, and for those people, I'm like, let me help you shine into the world, right? And so I'm focusing on, empowering, inspiring, and just helping people just to feel more comfortable to live in their own truth. Because when you stand in your power and in your own truth, and you inspire others to allow themselves to shine as well.
Oh my goodness.
So grateful.
I am so grateful for you. I mean, so many things that you have said are things that we touch on all the time, like following what makes you happy, following what lights you up, because at the end of the day, like you said, you don't know how much time you have. And so when you can do that, when you truly just follow what brings you joy, then you have less regrets. Were you ever at a place, last question, were you ever at a place where you felt like, because you were so, you were living your dream, did you ever feel like, oh my gosh, I have a regret, I haven't done something, I need to do something, from the time you were diagnosed through your chemo? Did you have any of those?
I felt content with all the bucket list checks, because I had been to 35 countries. And, but I just focused on, I focused on how can I love, how can I love? Because that's when your life flashes before you. That's what you realize that's what matters.
You are such a beautiful human, and thank you so much for coming on our show. Where can people find you if they want to connect with you in any way? Right there.
kamelia.britton on Instagram. And then my website will be linked there as well. My website's hackerette.com because I was a girl travel hacker, and that's how I started. And it's evolved over the last 5 years.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate your time and just all of your wisdom and love, and for sharing your story with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thanks everyone out there for watching today. You can find us at settolove.com. We're here weekday mornings at 8:30 a.m. We love you. We appreciate you. Best friend, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And everybody hit the bell.
And we will see you tomorrow.